Okay, so for homework in our Rhino tutorials, we started building a city. So I'm going to close this document and don't save. We'll create a new document, part, okay. On the top plane, we'll create a sketch. We'll click on our rectangle tool, and I'm just going to start drawing my basic grid, my basic city layout. I'm going to draw it all in one sketch because that's perfectly fine in this case. Some cases you won't want to do that, but I'm just going to draw some, some kind of reasonable composition. Maybe we'll do a round building too, why not? And once I feel like I have enough buildings here, different shapes and sizes to create a composition, then I'll click OK. Now we have our 3D building layout, and we'll go ahead and start extruding some of these. So we can create an extruded boss, select this guy, and I may actually, over here, I can expand selected contours, select it, and then just deselect this, or sorry, select that. There we go. And right now, I've accidentally activated double-sided extrusion. I actually only want one side. So right here, where it says direction 2, I'll just uncheck that. So we only have one direction. So we're just going straight up. We'll make this one building, and hit OK. Make another one. Now, this time, I'm going to, instead of reselecting it every time from the tree, it's hidden my sketch. So here, I'm going to right-click it and then go up here to Show my sketch. So now I'm looking at it all the time, so I can just go extruded boss and I can choose like this one and go selected contours and select this shape, make it a really tall building, and so I can just keep doing that. Now these are all in one sketch just to make it a little easier to deal with, but if you did them in separately, that's a whole nother advantage. Alright, so I've got a bunch of different ones here, and let's assume that that's what I wanted. I would probably do a little more detail for my city. But now we want to add some detail to these buildings, so I want to add some cuts into them. So what I did in Rhino was I drew a rectangle down here and then drug it up and then did a Boolean. In SolidWorks, I'm going to select that top plane and say extruded cut, and then draw a rectangle up here. Hit OK, and then just tell it how far I want my cut to go down. There we go. And I could do another one on the other side, or I could do one on this building if we wanted. So let's do extruded cut, and this time we'll draw a rectangle here, and maybe another one over there as well. Okay, now we're extruding both of those, just part of the way down. Great. And in Rhino, we also looked at the solid fillet tool. So let's go ahead and try that here. Up here at the top, we have fillet. We can also go up to Insert, Features, Fillet, Round. We'll select that, and we'll click an edge. In this case, 10 millimeters looks all right on that edge. Click OK. And now we have a nice round on that building. If I want to change that, I can double-click it, or I can go over here to my fillet and say Edit Feature. Then I can change this to 20 millimeters to make it bigger. I can add a new fillet, maybe on this top edge, and we'll make that 5. So we have a round on top of our building. We can add another big round over here. Make this one 25. And in Rhino, we added a big spherical building. To add that, it's a little more complicated here. But there's a relatively straightforward way we could do it. There's no sphere tool in SolidWorks. You have to manually create spheres, and this is not the way to do it, by the way. But this is a little shortcut using the tools we've already gone over to be able to do it in a hacky way. Don't ever do this in a professional setting because people will make fun of you. So there's your draw a cylinder, and then we'll just put a big round on it, big fillet. We can select this edge, or we can select the top face, either one. And we can just make this really big. Okay, now we've got kind of a dome over there. Now we could add a similar dome on top of this building, like I did in the Rhino tutorial. So we'll add a circle right there. Extrude it up just a little bit. And put a big old round on it. We'll call it a 5mm. Just raise it up a little bit. There we go. There we go. Now, we want to get a decent view of this, and in Rhino, we were able to easily change to perspective mode. So we'll go here to View, Display, Perspective, and that'll give us some perspective, which looks pretty good. But in Rhino, we could change the focal length of our lens to make it a wide-angle lens and make this all fisheye and dramatic. And so the way to do that in SolidWorks is, again, a little more roundabout. So we'll just go View, Lights and Cameras, Add Camera. So, and then we'll just click OK in this case. So, and then we'll go to View, Display, and then down to Camera View. So now we're looking through the camera we created. Now if I try to rotate this view, it says camera is locked. So edit or unlock to allow movement. So what you do is you go up here to View, Lights and Cameras, and then say Properties, Camera 1. And then that brings us back here to where the same window we saw when we were first setting up the camera. And then over here on the left, we see a perspective viewport where we can actually see our camera. So there's our camera in space, and we can actually move it around if we want, change different things about it. And it's automatically focused right on the center of our object, and so it keeps us looking at it. Now I want to change that. I just want it to be a free-floating camera. So I'm going to go here and say change it from aimed at target to floating. And then I'm going to change, it says lock camera position except when editing. Uncheck that because we want to be able to move it. And then down here under perspective, right now it's on a 135mm telephoto. It's a long lens. Let's change this to a 24mm wide-angle lens. Click OK. And now, if we zoom way in, we'll have much more of that dramatic fisheye effect that we were going for in the Rhino video. So, there's your basic homework equivalent for SolidWorks. And hopefully that'll help get you started.